Hi, and welcome to my channel. It's still, June 27th, I think, 2023. It's Tuesday, and I am finally home. I'm not sitting in my car filming my video, which I filmed so many times to try to get it down short. And I thought I would just kind of give you another view of this and then kind of show you my process for processing this fabric now. Um, so I am actually one of those people, I wash my fabric before I use it. So I like to wash it. I use 100% cotton almost, no, I would say almost exclusively, but pretty much the majority of the time because I do actually sew with fleece as well. And well, flannel's cotton too, but and some other fabrics depending on the project that I'm doing. But generally, I'm sewing with quilt cotton because I love that it comes in so many choices of designs. But what I do is I take these, we bring them home, carefully cut them apart. Like this. I keep these tags and then sort them out, wash them by color. I don't do anything to the ends of the fabric, so they do fray when I'm washing them. I just keep a pair of scissors right by the washing machine. And then as they come out, I cut, well, often I'm cutting pieces apart because they've wound to each other. But I cut off as much of the stuff that's just long fray before I stick it in the dryer. A lot of times I dry it all the way when I have this much fabric or this much fabric. I try to dry it the majority of the way, but still leave it damp so that when I press it, because then I press it before I put it away, that it's easier to press. Although I do keep two squirt bottles by my iron. I have a nice iron, but I keep two squirt bottles by my iron. One is I use to squirt the fabric, and the other one I use to refill my iron. And so I will take it from here, take it out carefully of the rolls here. I always feel like I have to be careful. I'm not going to cut my fabric at the same time. And then wash it, cut off all the frayed ends, throw it in the dryer, press it, and then we fold it back so it ends up. Let me grab a piece out of here. Ends up, I think this has got little pieces in it, so it might come out, but it ends up like this. So I fold it to the length so it will fit in this box. Here's one actually from Joann's, the remnant I bought. And I just try to fold it so I'm not always successful, but I try to fold it so that I've got this open end out, and so I can pin it to a single layer. If not, I pin it on this side and just pull a single layer up, because when I go to cut it, then this will not be in the way if I'm not cutting the whole piece. And I can just open it up partially if I've got a really big piece, because some of these I've got really big pieces. I don't always just buy remnants. Sometimes I buy actual full pieces. My sister-in-law, I was at her house, and she's a quilter, and I noticed that she uses blue packing tape on some of her stuff to mark it. And so I'm trying that on a few pieces, but generally what I do is I take and glue, and if I bought a remnant, I use this and put it back on because it has all the details. If I didn't, I take, oh, that's another piece. All of this extra that you get that's wrapped around, I keep some of it, not all of it. I was keeping all of it, and I had too much, so I got rid of it. But I keep this, and I'll write the details of the fabric on here. And I'll remeasure it so that because you lose some yardage, it does fray. And some of it, when I fold it through, I'll look at it and I'll go, that's crooked. I'm going to end up cutting that off. So I'll just mark on here the usable length that I think I have. Usually I short it by about 1 inch, so I know I have it for sure. And I write that on the ticket along with the name of the fabric, so that if I want to find it again, I can. If it's still available, because sometimes, I buy a lot of fabric. Sometimes I'm using some stuff I've had for a while. But once that's done, I fold it so that it will fit in this container. I kind of made a mess out of that top one. And then this is fabric that I just got. My sister-in-law, like I said, is a quilter, and she was kind enough to let me and my daughter have some of the stuff that she had overbought and decided she was going to get rid of. So that's what this fabric is here. So I haven't sorted it, but there, this is something my daughter-in-law, I don't have one of those yet. Something my daughter found um, and bought, and we have just a ton of it. So that is new fabric that we just got too. She actually had twice this much in a Valentine print, 2 different Valentine prints, and she's used a bunch of it already. And I think we got it a week ago. But anyway, I fold it so that, let me pull this one. It's a pretty big piece. Let's see how big this is. Okay. So like on this one, see how this, there's no way. I mean, I won't measure to this end. I'll measure to the shortest portion of usable. So I probably would measure to here. And when I fold it, we fold it in half lengthwise and then in half again lengthwise and down until it's about this wide. It's a 1/4 inch wide. I don't know if I can get it open to show you. Let's see. So there. That's a 1/4 and then it's folded in half. I just think this is too uneven for me to show it you on this piece, but and then I measure it down. This is I think I was doing 15 inches was what was making this fit, and I have my cutting board and I'll measure it against my cutting board, and most of the time I just eyeball it, but there was so much of this that was going in that it was easier to just bring it over and measure it out than have to fold it a couple times. But that's kind of what I do. That isn't labeled just yet, but usually it won't go into a box until it's labeled. And I've had it measured out just because it's easier for me to know when I grab a piece of fabric that it's going to be long enough, or it's worth looking at to see if it's going to be what I think is going to be long enough to make whatever I'm making. So that's what I do with that. And had a really fun time today. Give you another look at my deal of fabrics. And I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I hope that wherever and whenever you are at, you are having a great time.